Guildpact, the second set of the groundbreaking Ravnica block, and a set that was utterly unique. It was the second set of a block that shared absolutely no mechanics of its base block set. With so many megacycles throughout the block, it was simultaneously the most similar second set of any released, as it was forced to be both the same but completely unique. It featured 3 new guilds, complete with their own flavor, mechanics, and creatures. And when it came to story, the Guildpact that bound every guild in Ravnica together was starting to dissolve. Guildpact, like its predecessor, featured only a portion of the total 10 guilds of Ravnica. In this set we saw the mad scientists of the Azet League, the war-hungry anarchists of the Gruul clans, and the devious and evil denizens of the Orzhov Syndicate. The Azet League were tasked with Ravnica's civic works, boilers, sewers, water systems, and roads. But they didn't just fix potholes and patch steam vents, they also conducted crazy experiments with reckless abandon and sometimes spectacular results. For example, weirds only exist in Azet, servicing as lab assistants, pets, or creatures that are magically bound to machinery and infrastructure to ensure proper workings and efficiency. Some of the strangest creatures that exist on Ravnica, this subspecies of elementals were created by the powerful and wise draconic parent of the guild, Niv Mizzet. A 15,000-year-old egomaniac, the last true dragon of the plane, named the guild after himself, and his ingenious inventions served the city of Ravnica faithfully, such as the exotic metal Mizium, also named after himself. The material is seen most clearly on the Transreliquat, showcasing the metal's ability to change shape into anything. But Niv Mizzet also features a secret in his wacky flavor text. While it may look like a weird math problem, turn the flavor text sideways and see if you can discern it. Niv Mizzet equals 1. Now what this exactly means is up for debate, with some alluding that the 90-degree marks and the amount equaling 1 is representing both his name and his ability to tap and deal 1 damage. The Azet featured the keyword Replicate, whose roots can be seen with the card Primitive Justice from Alliances. The first time paying more mana gave you more of the same effect. The mechanic showcases the Azet's love for wild effects that with enough mana can get out of control and provided a few constructed all-stars. Shattering Spree remains a popular option for those hating on artifacts. Its cheap casting cost and replicate cost has kept it in sideboards for years now. Gigadrouse also saw play as a way of tapping out your counterspell-wielding opponent at the end of their turn. The mechanic was showcased wonderfully in Gen Illuminatus, the Azet Guild champion and pre-release foil. Alongside a fantastic card name and image, this wild gen gave everything you played replicate, and remains a casual favorite. Notable Azet cards include Cerebral Vortex, featuring some of the most surreal art in the set. Electrolyze is a tournament mainstay to this day, while Invoke the Firemind has ended many a game in Commander. Stitch in Time was exciting, but too unreliable for tournament tables, while the Wee Dragonauts were another flavor home run. Azet Chronarch is a fan favorite, a powerful ability in Limited, and even seen some constructed play at the time. Masquerading as a religion, the Orzhov Syndicate is the Ravnica Guild of Business, with nearly every establishment in Ravnica tying back to the guild and its godless shrine in one devious way or another. A better way to think of them is the Ravnican Mafia, loyal to their own and cruel to all others. The Syndicate is most famous for dealing with ghosts. The guild is presided by a council of them, or what Guildpact defined as the Ghost Council of Orzhova. Should a soul be in debt to them upon dying, that person must work their debt off, even after their grave. The Orzhov mechanic was Haunt, a well-meaning design, but ultimately seen as a failure of the set. A complex and trigger-heavy mechanic, Haunt was certainly flavorful, that resulted in such a confused player base it is not looked upon fondly. The most famous of these is Orzhov Pontiff, a card that saw plenty of constructed play in its era. Another is Seize the Soul, a powerful removal spell, but one that requires a few readings to really get right. These two highlight the issues with the mechanic, as it does one thing for creatures, but another for spells. Popular and notable Orzhov cards include Angel of Despair, a creature with the Vindicate effect on a creature. Vindicate was originally expected to see a reprint, but was put on a Flying Angel instead. Debtor's Knell is a powerful casual card that saw fringe constructed play, and Mortify joined Ravnica's Putrefy as the premier removal spells in Standard. Pillory of the Sleepless really helped explain the white and black nature of the guild, with a pacifism effect combined with life loss to create a potent combination. Lastly, Teysa Orzhov Scion is a key player in the Orzhov Syndicate, but we'll get to the story of the block in just a bit. Instead, enter the stomping grounds of the Gruul clans. 10,000 years ago, at the signing of the Guildpact, the Gruul clans were a ferocious but noble guild charged with maintaining the wild places on Ravnica. Their place was to keep civilization in check, but as the other 9 guilds overran every wild place on the planet, they pushed Gruul out, and as the wilds were torn down, so too were the guild's responsibilities. Now decentralized and lacking leadership, the Gruul are nothing but a loose affiliation of clans, and they are upset about it. Exploited and ignored long enough, they will use any reason to create chaos and destroy symbols of civilization. With little official about the guild, it is difficult to discern a leader, but if there is one, Borborygmos is it. When he talks, the Gruul listen, and this legendary Cyclops leads his horde into the fray. Gruul is the most aggressive guild, seen best in its mechanic, Bloodthirst. Showcased on 11 cards, only one made the big time, and in a huge way. Scab Clan Mauler saw consistent constructed play throughout its lifespan, and was the key 2-drop in the Gruul aggro deck that Mark Herberholz used to win Pro Tour Honolulu just after the set's release. Scab Clan Mauler, along with other Gruul cards like Burning Tree Shaman and Giant Solifuge, provided enough power to take home the trophy. But it was not the finals or even this deck for which the Pro Tour that we would call today Pro Tour Guildpact is famous. Instead, it is an epic moment that came in the semifinals, forever enshrined in Pro Tour history.
He's looking at the top. All right, Char. Char you. I like the play. The crowd is into it. What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my God! Oh my God! Greg Jones is through to the finals! Oh my God! Oh, he collapses. Craig Jones is jumping up and down. The crowd here has gone ballistic.
But what's the story of the set? At the end of the Ravnica novel, Agris Cause had just arrested Zadek, Lord of Secrets, and the head of the Dimir Guild. Shunning his newfound fame, Agris Cause left the Wojaks, and by extension the Boros Legion, to work as a bouncer at a bar where the Gruul were a menacing force. Despite leaving the Legion, he's still bothered by the disappearance of the Boros Angels. When Orzhov Baroness Teysa Karlov shows up at the bar carrying the body of a dead patriarch, Agris Cause gets dragged back into the action. Agris Cause, Teysa Karlov, a Gruul warrior, and an Azet courier eventually converge on an Azet laboratory where an Azet mage lord plots to hatch 3 long dormant dragon eggs to assist in his takeover of the world. Long story short, the eggs hatch, there's dragon-on-dragon combat, and it eventually kills all the dragons and the megalomaniacal Azet mage lord. And amidst all this, Agris Cause is in the Ravnica equivalent of an airplane that crashes. In the crash, Agris Cause, as you may recall, a man more than a century old, suffers a bloody impalement. The Azet courier scrambles to save him, finding a magic healing teardrop drug and administering it. Unfortunately, due to Agris Cause's long-term abuse of the same drug, the courier's well-meaning action kills him instead, though not before he sees the Boros Angels return to the grounds of Ravnica. The story ends with Agris Cause's funeral, which is impressive and honorable as befits someone who saved the plane twice. On Ravnica, though, death is not the end, and his spirit will play an important role in the third and last part of the Ravnica story, in Dissension. But we're not done yet. The set contains a group of new cycles that aren't present in other Ravnica sets. The first is the Nephilim, put into the set to satiate those who weren't into the guilds of Ravnica, also known as Nobody. They went over like a lead balloon. The designs didn't fit any guild or theme, their rules text was wordy and lame, and their flavor was a hodgepodge at best. The first 4-color creatures in Magic sure didn't have anything special about them, and they are quickly regulated to the, quote, weird designs we hope to not see again file. Better are the ley lines. Inspired by the Vanguard cards of old, these cards can set new rules before the game even begins. With each color getting their own ley line, these were of varying power level, with most of them seeing some play. The most popular to this day is Leyline of the Void, a powerful graveyard hoser and a card often relied upon to stop the Dredge menace in older formats. Guildpact was a success on many levels, and not just sales. While being the middle child of an incredible 3-set experience, it continued to innovate and improve on the guild model, and provided tournament powerhouses as a result. But the story of Ravnica is barreling to a finish, and its conclusion culminates in dissension. The last 3 guilds are unleashed, and the climactic story of the breaking of the Guildpact will finally be told. Thanks for watching. Did you enjoy this episode? Help me make more by supporting the show over at Patreon. Sponsor the content you enjoy so I can keep making it. Patrons get to see the episodes before anyone else, get their names in the credits, and more. Head on over to Patreon, and I'll see you guys there.